So begins the end for Darkseid.
I've never seen a being this strong. Maybe one.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and we're not doing a reaction.
Nice.
So today, as you can see from the title, we are going to do Zack Snyder Justice League honest review. Now, I've spoken a lot about this on social media. I've had quite a few people ask me to do this, so why not bring this to you on YouTube so you can see what I thought. I will try and keep it spoiler free. I'm just going to discuss a few points in this, but I just won't go into detail, so they won't necessarily be spoilers, because there'll be things that happened in Justice League 1, which if you haven't seen, I mean, you're not missing much, but you're more than likely, if you're watching this video, you've seen Justice League 1. Or you're interested in this. As I say, I won't give away anything major, so that's fine. So don't have to click away if you're worried about spoilers. I will also make you aware this is not a Marvel versus DC argument or anything like that. I want to make that very clear. I know a lot of people get annoyed about that. I love both. I love Marvel films because I think that the films have been better. I'm sure a lot of people will agree. I am also a DC fan. Don't get that wrong. I love DC characters. I thought the Dark Knight trilogy was incredible. Heath Ledger's Joker, of course, was insane. And I love that whole universe. I mean, Gotham, the TV series, one of my favourite TV series. Arguably better than all the Marvel kind of Netflix series that came out. I mean, the new Marvel stuff is pretty great. But as I say, this isn't going to be DC versus Marvel. It's got nothing to do with that. I really want DC to make some great stuff. And I think they've got something good here. But let's talk about it. So, at a glance with this film, you will see it has a terrifying, I think it's just under 4 hours watch time. Now, it is broken up into parts. So if you don't want to sit down for 4 hours and watch it in one big sitting, by all means, split it up into parts. Zack Snyder hasn't done a great job of doing that, because originally there was a plan to split it up, but I've seen stuff and Zack Snyder basically said he didn't want to split it up in the end, which in my eyes makes sense, and I would encourage you to watch it in full if you've got the time. If you don't, no worries, it's not the end of the world. But this film really benefits from the runtime. So I say no spoilers, but in terms of character development, there wasn't a lot of it in Justice League, the Whedon cut, like the theatrical version, but within the Snyder cut, he has done an amazing job of giving characters the arc that they deserve. Obviously, it's no spoiler that Darkseid is actually in this film, whereas in the theatrical version, he just wasn't in it at all. We only saw Steppenwolf, which of course we see in this as well. But there's even Steppenwolf has got more of a character arc this time, which we didn't see any of in the last one. That I think it all kind of just rushed straight in. But yeah, we see Darkseid in this, which of course Steppenwolf is almost kind of working on behalf of. We get a much better Cyborg character arc. Flash, we get a lot more Flash. It's all just kind of deleted scenes in the vision that Zack Snyder, of course, had before he had to leave the project, obviously for of course sad reasons. But in terms of the runtime, it really benefits from it, because you're not rushed through. You don't go from scene to scene to scene thinking, well, that ended quick. Like, things are dragged out. You get plenty of time to kind of understand the characters, their motives, and yeah, the scenes just aren't rushed, and this film really benefits from it, which is one of the massive positives that I loved about this film. Now, one of the big things for the Justice League theatrical cut that I hated was how it was just a saturated mess. I'm sure a lot of you will agree with this if you have seen it. It's so, like, the visual effects and the saturation on the colouring just is a bit intense. And if you've seen the trailer to this, you'll know from just the trailer that things like the battle at the end is just, it's just not a saturated mess. Like, they fixed the colouring. It's more dulled down tones. It's much more of a darker film, as opposed to just bright purple colours in the sky and orange, and it's just like, what the hell is going on? It doesn't make sense. So they've toned it down with this, which is really nice. The visual effects in this has had a massive overhaul. I mean, Steppenwolf, from the trailer, if you've seen it, I'll include some pictures, looks insane. The one thing I really hated about the theatrical cut is you've got this villain. Steppenwolf was the only villain in it because they didn't show Darkseid, and he wasn't really scary. Whereas in this, he has his like new armour, and there's some mad things he does in this, which you look at him and go, wow, this villain is menacing. Finally, they made him menacing. And it's crazy what a little bit of visual effect tweaking can do, because they've completely remade that character. It looks insane. As I say, he looks menacing. But that benefits the rest of the film as well. There's a lot of visual effects that have been changed in this and redone. It does benefit from an R rating, so there is a lot more gore and a lot more shown that you wouldn't have expected in a theatrical cut. Which again is something that's gripped me to this. They've done an amazing job. The Zack Snyder crew, everyone that's worked on this again. I find it crazy to think all of this footage that you'll see in the Snyder Cut didn't make it to obviously. I mean, I know it's a longer film, but some of the stuff that's in it that didn't make it, and the different approach that a lot of scenes have taken, blew my mind. One thing I think they did really well with this film as well is explaining the story, I guess. I mean, the plot is all based around the mother boxes and then finding the mother boxes so Darkseid can essentially take over that Earth. Which, in Justice League, the Whedon cut, sure, it was explained, but the origins of it is covered a lot more in this, which is nice. As I say, I won't go into details as to how or what, but they cover it a lot more. So the film, because it is longer and a lot slower, it makes so much more sense. Coming off the back of obviously Batman vs Superman, Superman's dead, but they don't really cover that in the Whedon cut. I mean, they mention it briefly at the beginning, but it's not really a big deal when you think this huge superhero. You know, Superman. Everyone knows Superman. Every kid knows of Superman. It's this massive giant of a character, and he dies, and then we come into the Justice League, and they don't really discuss it. It's not really a thing in the Whedon cut at the beginning. So there's a lot more put into that, which is nice. The soundtrack on this as well, really gripping. Every scene had amazing music in it, which really kept me gripped to the entire thing, which I loved. I think it's great for a 4-hour film, and the soundtrack being as good as it was. It blew me away. Now, I could ramble about this all day and waffle like I normally do in my videos, but I think the film itself will do the talking. If you are umming and ahhing as to whether to watch it, like I know a few people are, I would say to you, 100% watch it. As I say, I hated the theatrical cut. I hated it. It was just a mess. However, I could not sing Zack Snyder's praises anymore. This film, this cut is amazing. It got me excited for DC films again. I think the shame at the moment is, of course, because this is just his kind of cut they've released. I don't know what the chances are of getting sequels and things like that, how he would have liked to have taken it, because by now, obviously, this film is like years old. And of course, we've had the Aquaman film and everything after that. So, and obviously the latest Wonder Woman. So I'm not really too sure. It's a shame, but as I say, it relit my excitement for DC films. I think it's the kind of direction they should have been taking with the previous stuff. I can't say a lot for Batman vs Superman. I think that would have benefited from a much longer runtime as well. I'm sure most people will agree. But I think there was just so much behind that. Of course, it had to be condensed into like 2.5 hours or whatever it was. Which I think with these films, they need to not rush what they're trying to fit in. There's a lot of content they're trying to get into one movie. They're setting up this massive Justice League franchise, but they just rushed it, as I say. But with this film, the Snyder Cut, there's a lot more time to develop that. So I would say watch this 100%. Even if you hated Justice League 1, I think you'll find a way to enjoy this because it just has so much more to it. It's just a much better film. Now, obviously, it's not the perfect film, but I think overall, fantastic job, Zack Snyder, is all I can say. Huge leap up from the Whedon cut, and definitely a direction that I think DC should go in and definitely try and bring back this Snyderverse, or whatever they're calling it, because I think that is the way they need to go with it. Fingers crossed we get some more Zack Snyder Justice League, because I really liked it, and I want to see where it's going to go. So hopefully they do that. But yes, go watch the film. Leave a comment if you've seen it or you watch it. Just let me know what you think. I'd be interested. As I say, it's not for everyone, sure, but I think if you put aside, if you're a Marvel fan or whatever, I think you'd still appreciate this. Put it to one side, watch this film, just appreciate it. It's very well shot. The cinematography in it is brilliant, and the way it's been shot, the new aspect ratio, the dulled down colours, the R rating, everything like that makes it a good film. I think so. A very good film even. But yes, go watch it. Let me know what you think. And like and subscribe, guys. I always say this, like and subscribe. We want to grow this channel. I want more people to be able to, I want to build a community that we can just waffle on together and talk about films. I'll do some more content as well, but films is kind of the avenue I'm down at the moment because I freaking love them. So I want more like-minded people to come check out my content, and then we can waffle together. Anyway, have an amazing one, guys. Peace out.